I love content sites. There's no doubt they are one of the most passive online businesses to own. They only require a few hours per month or per week, and you can easily run or grow them until you have replaced your income, which is why almost everyone that I work with starts with these types of businesses. That said, if you don't know what you're looking at, it's very easy to get taken advantage of. And a big portion of people who have joined our Buying Online Business community found this out the hard way. They either bought a lemon for their first business, or they tried to start a content website and failed. Hence why they joined the community. Now, there's no doubt though that buying a great content website is the best beginner's move, in my opinion. So in this video, I'm going to show you, number one, where to buy these websites. And then number two, what to look out for when you're doing your due diligence. And then I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see over my shoulder how I find display ad content websites to buy. So if you actually want to achieve your online income goals, smash the crap out of that like button and let's dive into this. And by the way, thank you for hitting that like button. It means a lot and I really do appreciate it. Throughout the years, I bought display ad content websites and helped many people to buy content websites like these. And not one of us has bought a dud display ad website business. And that's all because what I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. First up, where do you buy these content websites that are monetized heavily or solely by display ads? One good place to go is motioninvest.com. I also like to look at empireflippers.com and then blogsforsale.co. There's 3 different places and I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at a few of those ones shortly, and I'll put a link to all of those in the description. You can also go away and look on Facebook groups, but beware, on some Facebook groups, people will just try to sell you any old website business, whether it's within your parameters or not. So if you're looking for a display ad site, they may try to sell you an affiliate site or an affiliate and display ad site, whether or not you want that. But if you're looking to just buy one particular type of site, you can have trouble doing that in the Facebook groups. But also, if you are patient enough and you do a lot of research and a lot of work and a lot of connecting, then you can find the right one. It just takes a lot more work than usual. Also flipper.com as well. That's a place you can find these display ad websites. There are a few and far in between on Flipper, so you need to go away and put in the groundwork to find those as well amongst all the other listings, but there'll be links to that in the show notes too. All right, so the meat and potatoes. What are the things that you need to check when you're doing your due diligence? But I've got a big warning for you. If there's just one thing that you see that you don't like when you're doing due diligence, please note this is not a red flag that you just put up a red flag and you walk away from the business. You need to keep doing due diligence and make an assessment based on everything that you're doing due diligence on. Too many people want to just dismiss a business too quickly to save time, and this isn't always the best approach. So when you get a good yes, you can do this, but starting out just learning as much as you can about these businesses is important, and understanding how to do due diligence through the entirety of the business. Now, the reason I say this is because a lot of people come to me and say, Jared, I've looked at this business and this looks wrong within that business, or not good, or a risk. Is that a red flag? Yes, it can be a red flag, but it doesn't mean that you just dismiss the business entirely and walk away and try and find something new, because that red flag could end up being an opportunity. Or if you discover it further, that red flag may not actually be as risky as you initially thought, and like I said, could be an opportunity, or you could discover a really good way to minimize or remove that risk. So it's a shame to just put up a red flag and say there's a red flag, I'm going to walk away from the business, when you don't understand what that red flag or that possible risk may actually be in its entirety. So please understand that before you just dismiss some businesses, because you could miss out on something that's a really, really great business. Now that that warning is out of the way, what's the first thing that you look at when you're looking at a content display ad site? Well, the first thing is content. You need to see if the content is any good, right? And if it's not good, what will it cost you in time and money, right? What will it cost you in resources to update this content? And then you need to ask yourself, is it actually worth updating that content? Now, sometimes there may be a content site with a lot of content that's fluff and you need to remove it, and you may have backlinks to that content that's fluff or non-valuable content, and you may lose some backlinks as well as some site traffic. Even though it's probably not the best site traffic, you may go a step back to get 2 steps forwards. And that's something you may need to think about when you're buying a content site, is really understand how valuable the content is, stack it up against the competitors, and see what you'd need to do to bring that content for the site that you're looking at up to the level, or if not better than the competitors, so you can start to rank for bigger keywords, build your authority on that site, and start to get more traffic through the larger and more difficult keywords that you're looking to rank for. Next up, revenue. Now, you want to be thinking and looking about what ad network are they using when they're monetizing this AdSense site. Could be AdSense, it could be Ezoic, it could be Mediavine, it could be AdThrive, it could be AdX, it could be a bunch of different ones. And you want to be asking yourself as well with this revenue, have they maxed out the ad load on this type of content site? Meaning, do they have the maximum ad load on the site? And what this means is that sometimes when people want to sell a content site that's mainly monetized by ads, is they want to push up the ad load, meaning more ads will be on the site, which means they can end up getting more income from the ads because there's more ads on the site, but only in the short term, because eventually over time that could affect user experience, bounce rate, and time on page. So if they do this could mean they earn that extra money, like I said, but it's something that you need to weigh up, or something you need to consider when you're purchasing the site. Because if you purchase the site and you don't want to have the ad load as aggressive as what they have on their site, then maybe you need to consider dropping the amount of income that you may make from that site when you become the new owner, with how you want to run it yourself. Also, are they using an ad network, right? Like, are they using something other than AdSense that could put more premium ads on the site? Like Ezoic Premium allows you to earn a higher earning per monthly view. Or do they have are they linked up with Mediavine or AdThrive that do similar work to Ezoic, where they work towards to get you a higher ad revenue based on the data they use and the understanding of the algorithm to put better ads on the site and in better ad placements on the site. So if the site doesn't use an ad network, they could be a massive opportunity or advantage there. Or if they're using one and it's not maxed out to, say, the potential that you may understand that you can get that ad revenue too, that could be a massive opportunity as well. Or if it is using an ad network and you need to get the site reapproved, what's the likelihood of you getting that site reapproved yourself if the traffic has dropped? Now, usually these ad networks are looking at the sites to see how valuable they are in terms of is that traffic stable and is it growing, or has it decreased and does it have enough traffic to actually be approved to stay on the ad network that they're using. So you need to ask that question so you can avoid the risk of buying a business that doesn't get it reapproved for an ad network that you're looking at. Now to backlinks. You need to do a proper backlink check. You can do this in Ahrefs or SEMrush, and can put some links to those in the show notes as well. And there's other cheaper tools out there that you could use, but ideally you want to make sure there are no spammy, toxic, or non-relevant backlinks, because this can bring your SEO profile down, and Google will see that there's all these links that aren't the greatest going to your site and they look spammy, non-relevant, and if they're pointing to your site and Google sees that maybe this site isn't non-relevant, maybe it's got a lot of spam stuff on it, and they can decrease it, right? Your SEO profile that they make up of you. You can also remove these when you purchase a site, but it's best not to buy a display ad content website that has a high percentage of crappy backlinks, to be honest. Speaking of backlinks, I want to thank our video sponsor, Odys Global. Odys is the world's leading marketplace for buying premium age domains with built-in SEO, as well as done-for-you affiliate site packages. Now, why am I telling you this when we're getting to backlinks? because too many people come to our space to make money online, to start a website business and fail because they don't know how to build SEO or build backlinks and get traffic to their website. Which is why if you don't have $10,000 or more to drop on an established business, you don't need to start one from scratch. You can buy a premium H domain from Odys with built-in SEO, built-in backlinks to fast track your online business success. So go to Odys Global, so that's odys.global, to save $100 on any domain by using the code Jared100. Now, no, I'm not an affiliate partner of Odys. This is a coupon code that you can use to get $100 off any domain purchase that you're looking at. There will also be a link in the description to odys.global. The next thing you need to check when doing your due diligence for these display ad sites is looking at the EAT. And this stands for expertise, authority, and trust. And Google loves to see websites that have expertise, authority, and trust, meaning the content is written by someone who is an expert in the niche and has an authority, which has a digital footprint that they can link to, and they can be trusted in that space. Now, about 99% of content websites don't have any EAT, and maybe 99% of the ones that are usually for sale. Usually because people build these to sell and they don't put the work into the EAT. And this is pretty normal and not the biggest reason not to buy a website without EAT, but let me put this into perspective for you. If you have two sites about puppy training, for example, and one site is a content site written by someone you have no idea who they are, and then the other site is written by someone who has been a puppy trainer for a decade and has a Facebook page, Facebook group, other social media accounts, and maybe even has another blog that you can verify that they know what they're talking about. Which website would you rather take guidance from, right? And the person with the authority is a person you're most likely to want to read from. And so Google has a way to detect this. And some sites with no EAT do get penalized, mainly affiliate sites time of recording. So if a site doesn't have EAT, work out how you could instill some if you are to buy it to decrease your risk. In a second, I'm going to share my screen and go through a few brokers and a few places you can go to buy these display ad content websites. And I'm going to break them down to help you see what extra questions you need to ask about these individual businesses when you're doing due diligence. But first, I want to ask you, why do you want to buy a display ad content website? Let me know in the comments so I can create more videos around this for you, specifically on display ad content sites. Okay, cool. So I have 3 ad content websites for sale that I want to show you. Usually I'm checking out those 4 places that I mentioned, empireflippers.com, flipper.com, blogsforsale.co, and Motion Invest. On Motion Invest, which is where we're at right now, is I couldn't find any display ad content sites that are just monetized by display ads. Most of them do have, so Amazon or affiliate and ad revenue combination, which is good for decreasing risk in single source dependency for revenue. But we'll disregard Motion Invest for now, and we'll check out these 3 other sites I looked at. The first one I want to show you is the Empire Flippers one. I just go to the marketplace and I check out the ad sites, the ad revenue sites. This is one for sale for $102,000, 42-month multiple, 10-month pricing period. I'm going to show you some risks that are within this business. They have a Zoic premium account. Okay, this site is only about 1.5 years old. Okay, which time of recording may not actually be correct. But let's look at it. What I do like about the site is the traffic has grown. Let's look at all time. They did some cool things at the start, and then this has just been growing over time. Obviously, after the end of the year is the best months, and then it drops down, and it should pick up again. So that's the earnings, which the traffic will look very similar. So let's look at the traffic. So it looks very, very similar. But what they've done is it's grown, and it's dropped off, which is what happens for most content sites. Looks like, I'm not sure what the data is because it's blurred out here, but it looks like maybe they've got a pretty solid domain rating, 70 something, which is really good. and they've used a 10-month pricing period, which is good. They haven't just priced it from the best last 4 or 6 months. Let me show you some of the risks that may be involved with this. 100%, so it's in the gaming niche. A risk about the gaming niche is that things can change very, very quickly and the content may not actually be evergreen. Whilst the niche is evergreen, the content may not be evergreen, which means it could cost you in updating content, removing or adding more content to just maintain the traffic levels. Something to think about. WordPress site provides tips for information around popular mobile game. The big risk here, it says the traffic is diversified through the top 3 pages, combining 24% of all traffic. I think that's actually a risk. So maybe one page has 14% and the other 2 has 5%. But that can be a risk. If you lose one of the pages, you can lose a big percentage of the traffic. So there's a bit of a risk there. It's not too much. Ezoic Premium is what they're using. Most of the traffic, 95%, is organic. So there's a single source dependency on traffic. Most are coming from Google. The seller spends an hour per week checking out the earnings and updating the plugins sporadically. And they also upload content, providing a $50 payment for 5 or 6 posts. So $50 for 5 or 6 posts means 10 posts is very, $10 per post is very, very cheap. They've sourced content creators, and focusing on SEO optimized artists could provide a buyer with an attractive opportunity for growth. I agree, it could, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing for growth. Expanding other digital advertising platforms, affiliate marketing partnerships. Yes, this can be good as well, but it could also be a risk. Google dislikes affiliate sites that don't have any EAT. So if this site doesn't have any EAT, expertise, authority, and trust, then you could be putting yourself up to get looked at or scrutinized more heavily by Google. The site was purchased in October 2020 and has a longer history. Okay, so the site isn't actually only a year and a half old. That's when it was bought. So it's something to consider. It's previously Google AdSense site and skewed high revenue prior to seller obtaining it. Business has Google Ads violation penalty. That was unexplained. Ezoic support helped the seller get it resolved. When you're buying this, you want to make sure you can see the thread of contact with Ezoic to see how it was resolved, or at least understand how it was resolved from the previous owner, to understand if it could happen again, even though they said there have been no issues. So yeah, more information we provided with that one. Opportunities exploring other advertising platforms, expanding revenue streams, adding SEO optimized content. I agree, these are pretty stock standard ways to grow a business. Like I said, there was single source dependency on Google, which is what they've mentioned, and then commission structures that either offer network level could change at any time. This doesn't have any affiliate content, so I don't know what that actually means. But maybe they're talking about Ezoic Premium, and I doubt it's going to change too much. My opinion. So work skills, monitor the site analytics, updating WordPress plugins, monitoring earnings. I think there's understanding a bit of SEO would be important to understand when you're buying a content site. But this is a pretty stock standard site, and other than some of the content may be being outdated, which we can't verify because I haven't unlocked the listing and I can't do that on a call with you guys. But from all in all, this site looks pretty decent. So that's one. Let's check out the next one, Flipper. Flipper was harder to find good sites. This one doesn't have much content at all. So what we will do is I'll check out the site in itself. And so it's a year old. It's a starter template site. It's not making much money. I dare say it's just from AdSense. You really want to be checking if this is correct. And how many backlinks it has. It doesn't have much content, so you want to be asking how much content does it have, what's the traffic levels. Getting access to the Google Analytics will be very, very important. Okay, so here we go. The site looks pretty good. You want to go through the content and see how valuable the content is. They've got a podcast here. So maintaining that podcast may become expensive or timely, because I know what it costs to run a podcast. And it looks like this is not just an ad revenue site, which is what they said in the listing. Content site, and it's a newsletter. And how they make money is from probably the ads on the newsletter, but this is probably not the type of content site you're looking for. So let's skip that. Let's move on to the last one that I have for you, which is from blogstosale.co. This is a healthy desserts food blog, earning $400 a month from Mediavine ads in the food niche. It's $18,000. This site, one thing that you need to check when you're buying a site is that is this traffic still trending up, or is it the same levels, and what's the likelihood of it being reapproved for Mediavine, for your own Mediavine account when buying it. You don't want to buy something and have it not approved by the same ad network, because then you may have to go down tier to, say, AdSense or something like that, and get lesser ad revenue by not using a bigger ad network that actually do the work for ad placements on the site for you and tweak things to ensure that you are earning the highest possible ad revenue from your ads on your site. So you want to be checking that. Let's go through and look at more of it. The visitors very engaged, 70 to 20% users coming back to the site. Only has 140 articles, which is good. It tells us about the recipes. 8 customized videos can be used for a YouTube channel. Healthysweets.com has a DR of 34. You want to be doing your backlink due diligence for all of these sites that I've just mentioned. I teach backlink due diligence in my membership. If you guys are interested, you can check out buyingonlinebusinesses.com/community and check out what's involved there. 7,000 organic keywords. 400 of those keywords appear on page 1 of the results, which is really, really good. The bounce rate being super low, the average session duration being quite good, and pages per session is good. Looks like it's a healthy site, but of course you'd need to be checking this by getting access to Google Analytics yourself and verifying all of this. 27% of visitors are coming from direct queries. Cool. So organic search, a big portion of this organic search is from Google, so there's a single source dependency, of course, with that, as per usual. Revenue expenses, just running Mediavine, and sometimes there's the occasional sponsored post income. What's included in the sale? They've got a Facebook page and a Pinterest account. Obviously, they're not doing too much with Pinterest and Facebook, so they haven't really told us how much is, a very small percent is coming from other places that aren't verified, and it comes with the videos. So yeah, this site looking quite good, and also the Empire Flippers site looking quite good. But there's some of the things that you need to check when you're doing your due diligence for content sites, and how you go away and possibly find and buy these. To get more information, obviously with this one, you'd need to get in touch, fill out this, and get in touch with Josie. And this one, you need to unlock the list and get more information about it. And that's how you go away partaking in your own due diligence. Like I said, I want to create more videos to help you crush it with your online income goals. So let me know in the comments, why do you want to buy a display ad content website, so I can create more videos around that for you. And as always, before you even consider buying a business, make sure you don't go away and make it up for yourself. Don't reinvent the wheel. Get my Due Diligence Framework. It's what I and all of my clients use to buy these display ad content websites that can take the guesswork out of buying these websites. You can get it for free by going to buyingonlinebusinesses.com/free resources, or there'll be a link in the show notes for you. Check it out. YouTube watcher, what's up? It's Jared Krause here, and if you've watched this video up until now, please smash the like button. I'm really glad that you liked the video. Also, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing super good, and I also wanted to ask you, please consider subscribing, because my commitment and exploration on YouTube is exploding. More content, more surprise and delight, more value, and this is the time to subscribe. So I hope you consider it, and I hope to see you on the next video.
Hey YouTube watcher, if you thought that video was good, you should check out this video here on the 2 best types of websites beginners should buy. Or check out my playlist on how I made my first 100K from buying websites and how to do due diligence. Check it out. It's an awesome playlist. You'll enjoy it.